Yeah, I'm out trimming some odd, there was scraps of wood laying out here that I always have to hay around. I'm just cleaning them up, but it's just for the evening. But this is going to be enough wood for overnight. But I happened to notice earlier today that, Texas is suing these swing states. So this is going to the Supreme Court about the voter irregularities, And I was glad to see that there were 17 other states that signed on to this lawsuit. Their attorney generals, which really pissed off the attorney generals in some of these swing states, but it needed to be done. And I was glad to see that my state is one of them that signed on to that. And odds are there probably will be more. So hopefully this will get to the Supreme Court and they'll get this settled one way or another. But I happen to think, when this started, I think this is just like an intervention. I mean, that's the way you can think of it, because it's like these states, these swing states, have started down a very bad road. And they're letting the Democrats get control of everything in their state. You got all the judges, and it's just a mess. But that's where Soros is putting his money in, those type of places, to try to get this swayed in a certain direction. So these other states are holding this sort of intervention to try to get them back on the straight and narrow again. And I hope something comes of that. It's really pissing Democrats off, so I think there's a pretty good chance something might come of this. I mean, all you got to do is just you look at what Biden has been lining up for his cabinet. Well, it's a spooky bunch. It's all retreaded Obama people. It's all like the people who have been cast aside a long time ago for very good reasons. He's trying to drag them all up again. So hopefully they can take care of it this way. The whole idea, like this intervention thing, that doesn't really appeal to me. In that, I'm more of a libertarian mind, that people, including states, should be able to go their own way. Do what's right for their people. But when you let that corruption get in there gets to be a point in there where somebody has to kind of shake some sense into them, and hopefully this will. But it's funny because YouTube is, they're deleting videos, shutting down all kinds of channels, stuff like that, because they don't want you talking about any of this election fraud. To even think, they want to say, well, it could have been, computer glitches, or it could have been human error. No, not on that scale. Not. There was some monkey business going on there. A lot of monkey business going on. That had to be pretty organized. But if you talk about it, like, no, I made the mistake now of talking about it, this could very well take this video down. But it's obvious to anybody who actually sees what's going on. But like I say, unfortunately, a lot of people won't see it. A lot of people are surprised if you bring it up. They never heard of such a thing. It's because of where they're getting their news from. But hopefully this lawsuit will go someplace. And being, it has to go to Supreme Court because it's state against state, or states against states. Because really, they got to get this settled, because, like I say, people are going to start taking this into their own hands. People have been patient. People have been, because they really aren't going to let this fly, not the way they think. People, I don't know what these people are thinking, that people are going to roll over and let this happen to their country. They really aren't. They really got to look at this a lot more seriously. But hopefully something will come of this. You know, because people aren't going to just roll over on this. They're trying to let the courts handle this, but there's so much corruption involved in this stuff. It's hard to. Hopefully, if we go to the Supreme Court, hopefully this can get straightened out. Because if you can't do it there, like I say, people are going to take it into their own hands, and that can only go one way. You know, so I don't know. They're really pushing people's buttons. You know, but there's some crazy people involved in this. But it's going to go bad if they can't settle this legally. It's going to be settled one way or another. You know, because people really just aren't. But I was glad to see, you know, that these states are holding this kind of intervention, and hopefully that'll work. But I was glad to see that my state was actually involved in that too. Or at least the attorney generals, you know. Because governors can be really wishy-washy on this. And I've had my doubts about our governors sometimes. But, you know, the attorney general signed off on it, so okay, that's a good sign. But I'd like to see, you know, because there's only, yeah, it was just Texas, then it was a couple more states, and now it's up to like 17 to 18. There could be even more signing on to this. And hopefully then the Supreme Court will take this seriously, because if you let this corruption go on in those 4 swing states, it completely disenfranchises the people who actually voted honestly. You know, their whole state then is, you know, their whole election was pointless. So they have to get this straightened out, or you're going to be making history. Well, one way or the other it's going to be history, but one way is going to be bloody.